Welcome. My name is Adam Mayer. I'm the Director of University College Career and Academic Programming. Today we'll look at career services offered to students in the Bachelor of Arts in Liberal Studies program. So our overview will look at what's available. That includes career advising. That can be a one-on-one appointment. We can talk about effective job search strategies, a number of different things. In addition to what's available, we'll look at employer connections. That includes career fairs and info sessions. Very important. Next subject here is what's called Hire a Red Hawk. That is your personal career management system here at Montclair State University. We will dig into that a little bit. It's a very important resource that you want to take advantage of. And then finally, we'll look at things to consider. So some do's and don'ts in the job search, some concrete suggestions. Focus 2, this is free online self-assessment. That's nice. I mean, it helps you look at likes and dislikes and job families, majors. It looks at opportunities based on major and how that relates to job titles, a number of different things. We'll briefly look at the YouTube channel that we offer and the resources in there. And then finally, some next steps. So what's available? The one-on-one career advising for BLS students that would be with me. Again, my name is Adam Mayer. And what can we look at? A number of different things. So effective job search instruction tends to be one of the big topics clients like to talk about, which makes sense. The first thing doesn't always have to be ATSs, but at some point in the conversation, we want to look at applicant tracking systems, what they are, knowing when you're inside one. Basically, ATSs it's a software package that employers purchase that streamlines the hiring process. So it looks at qualifications, it makes recommendations, and employers can interview a number of different things. So we do want to look at ATSs at some point. We talk about networking, giving you opportunities to connect with employers, LinkedIn profile construction and use. So that is looking at the big one out there in terms of platforms for job searching continues to be LinkedIn. If we're not on there, it's not our best move. So we can sit down and look at a current profile and make some changes, make some suggestions, or provide you affirmation that you're on the right track. If you don't have a LinkedIn profile, we can absolutely go through the steps required to create a fully realized profile. We can look at mock interviewing. So some folks like to practice, right? So this can be done virtually. This can be done face-to-face. What I do ask sometimes that clients send me a job description for a position that they'd like to apply for, or one that they have already applied for, and I develop questions specific to that position. So the mock interview is not something that's sort of canned and rote. It is specific to the position that you're interested in. And of course, resume, cover letter construction. We'll look at format, we'll look at content of the resume. I can provide suggestions. First draft is oftentimes never enough. And as many of us know, our resumes are never actually ever done, simply because we never stop developing. So number of things there. Career change strategies. It's understandable that in the BLS program that once you have your 4-year degree, you may be interested in other positions, or maybe it supplements where you currently are in your job search or current employment. Regardless, we can assess your self-interests, we can assess the employment market, and then determine direction. Another piece that clients do like to look at as well is salary negotiations. For some of us, that can be a difficult piece to address, but we can do a mock sort of salary negotiation there as well to help you prepare. In terms of employer connections, I mentioned that we do have career fairs. Typically, we have an all majors fair every fall semester. And again, it's either face-to-face or virtual, and you can connect with employers, opportunities, network with them. In the spring semester, there tends to be a few more career fairs rather than in the fall, simply because that it reflects employers' hiring cycles. Information sessions, so that service is separate from career fairs. This is where an employer would like to increase their visibility on campus or within the Montclair State community. So we provide the venue, again, whether it's face-to-face or virtually, and students, alumni, they can all sign up and find out more about employer opportunities. And again, it's a great way to network. So hire a Red Hawk. This is a big one. This, again, is your career management system here at Montclair State. So in order to create an appointment for all those things we talked about, you do need to do that through Hire a Red Hawk. So you would go through Nest as you would just about anything else. It's a single sign-on environment. Once you get in there, you can look for jobs that match for your interests. You can upload your resume. That will come directly to me. And I'll provide feedback on that and give you suggestions or, again, affirmation that you're on the right track. But what's really cool about Hire Red Hawk, when you go in for the first time, it will ask you the type of positions you're interested in. That might be full-time, part-time, or otherwise. But then it'll start to look at the industries that you might be interested in. Point being, it's setting up search filters for whenever you log in, it collects positions that match that site search criteria. And these jobs are then posted on your landing page in Hire Red Hawk. It's a nice service. It's customizable. If your interests change from those search criteria, you can always go back into your profile and change those pieces. So in terms of all the events that we do have, info sessions, career fairs, webinars, workshops, you want to log into Hire Red Hawk and RSVP to those events there. And you can customize your profile in Hire Red Hawk so that when employers check you out, they do see a fully realized profile, your resume, and so on. And then finally, with Hire Red Hawk, if for whatever reason you're not able to make an appointment with me, and you still want to practice, mock interviewing is a module within Hire Red Hawk that you can choose the type of interview, and from there, a virtual interviewer will come on the screen, ask you questions, and then your performance is then recorded. What's nice too is you get to sort of review that, and if you'd like, I can review that with you. We can look at nonverbal behavior, tone, the actual content of the answers. It's a great service. Many folks take advantage of it. So some things to consider, some do's and don'ts on the job search. So this would be more of the concrete conversations we might have as part of career advising, but just to sort of skip to that, what we want you to do is customize your LinkedIn profile address. As many of us know, when we create our LinkedIn profile, initially it's not branded. It's a lot of letters, it's a lot of numbers, so we can help you look at what might be the best LinkedIn profile address and help you edit that. And then, of course, you want to add that edited profile address to the resume, cover letter if you're using one, your email signature, and so on. Another do in terms of the job search in general, always try to, if you can, fit it in, seek professional development. There's tons of free stuff in terms of professional development through what's called LinkedIn Learning. There's Coursera. There's a number of online opportunities where if you take these courses, you can add them to your resume. Understanding the ins and outs of applicant tracking systems. I mentioned that at the top of this program. It's definitely something to address because 80 to 90% of large employers and mid-sized employers use ATSs. And if we're not sure of how to get through and get past those, it can be a tough run. How do you sort of get past those? That's the fourth bullet under the do's that we're suggesting. Use what's called JobScan. So it's JOBSCAN.co. Basically, this allows you to run your resume through an applicant tracking system environment against the job description. Once it runs that algorithm, it'll give you a report on hard skills, soft skills, what matched, what didn't. It's a tremendous resource. So things not to do on the job search. I know this might seem elementary. Don't forget to send a thank you note. Even if you're not interested in the position, you do want to still thank the employer for their time. We never want to ask for jobs. You want to cultivate your network and references and keep them in the loop. Don't dismiss the value of information interviews. And I can help you develop the sort of questions and how to go about it. But an information interview is where you've identified an employer or identified an individual who works for an employer and has a job that you're sort of keen on, you can meet with them if that person has the time. It could be a 10-15 minute thing. And what's great is it could be virtual, and the implications there are that you get insider information from somebody who's willing to share their time. And then finally, don't be caught without an elevator pitch. This is the 10 to 20-second conversation where, the analogy is that you're on an elevator with an employer. You don't know when he or she's getting off. So, share with them 2 or 3 greatest skills, what you can bring to the table, and then open up the conversation. So a few other things to consider. Focus 2, this is self-assessment. It's free software that you can take advantage of through Montclair State. Oftentimes clients will take the inventory and look at their results along with me. So we can have that conversation and guide you for the next steps. When you do register with Focus 2, you want to make sure that the access code is Red Hawk without quotations. Our YouTube channel, where this video is housed, has many, many other resources. There's virtual career fair tips. There's information on getting into graduate school and so on. The easiest way to go to our YouTube channel is just go to Google and Google those terms right there on the right-hand side, MSU Career Workshops, that's one word, and then YouTube. And our YouTube channel will show up for you. So the final piece here, again, next steps, things you want to consider. Get into Hire Red Hawk, schedule a career advising appointment with me, upload your resume for feedback and approval. And those are the next steps we want to recommend. We look forward to working with you, and welcome to Montclair State.